Hey guys. Hey guys. So, yeah, a lot's changed. I dyed my hair yesterday. I also got a fringe cut, which I did film in a vlog, but then I decided to just cut that vlog out because I didn't really like how it was and I didn't really do anything, so it was a bit boring. Also, don't know if you can see, but I am wearing a top, so I'm not knackered. But today I'm going to do the mid-year Freakout tag. I don't know who originally done it, but I will link the video down below. I know it's July, but I did plan this in June. I just never filmed it in June, so I'm just gonna film it now. I don't see why not. The first question is, what is the best book that you've read so far? So the best book that I've read so far in 2019 is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. I know this came out in December, but I didn't finish it until March because it took me so long because it's so big. And I also kind of didn't want to finish it, so I was putting it off a little bit. But yeah, so this is the third book in the Dark Artifices series, which is the third series of Cassandra Clare's books. That's the last one in this trilogy, but there will be more after this, but in a different trilogy. It was beautiful. I loved it. Kind of want to reread it already, but I think I'm going to have to calm down and finish some of the bigger books that I have. This book is almost 900 pages long, which is just humongous. So yeah, but it was excellent. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars like I have done for every single one of Cassandra Clare's books. The next question is, what is the best sequel you've read so far? And the best sequel I read this year is The Reaper at the Gates by Saboteur, which is the third book to the An Ember in the Ashes series. I originally thought this was the last one, so when it finished I was a bit like shocked, but it turns out there's actually going to be a fourth one, which I'm so excited about. But I have all of them in paperback, which it's going to be really annoying when the new one comes out because I'm going to have to get it in hardback to read it straight away. But that's fine. It kind of has a little crease on the cover because I put it in my bag without a book sleeve. Big mistake, I know. But yeah, I can't really tell you what this one's about either because obviously it's the third book. But the first one is like about this girl called Laia who lives in like a Roman Empire inspired world. And her brother gets kidnapped, and it's about her joining the resistance and just trying to save her brother's life. And then obviously a lot of stuff happens. This also follows this boy called Elias who works for the marshals, who are like the Romans, and he's desperately trying to escape. So obviously their stories intertwine and it's really good. So yeah, I loved this book, this third one. I thought it was amazing. The next question is a new release you're excited about but haven't read yet. I am so ashamed to say I haven't read this, but it is King of Scars. I have read every single one of the Graciaverse books apart from this one, and I bought this when it came out because look at that. It's absolutely stunning. And this has been on my TBR for about 3 months in a row, and it was supposed to be on my TBR last month and I was supposed to finish it. I just keep putting it off. I think I'm scared that it's not going to live up to my hype, so I've just not been reading it. And it is quite chunky. It's not huge. Like, I mean, it's like almost 500 pages, but compared to Queen of Shadows, it's not that big. I just really need to finish it because this follows one of my favourite characters in the first original Graciaverse trilogy. Obviously Nikolai. He was the only character I really liked. I hated Mal. I think that's his name. And I hated the girl. I can't even remember her name. Leia? Oh god, that's horrible. So I really hope they're not in this book, which is a bit scandalous. But I remember finding out when this was coming out and I was so excited and I just keep putting it off. So I really need to finish it in the second half of this year. And I would say what it's about, but I have no idea apart from that it's about Nikolai. I don't want to know, and I just don't know anything else about this. The next question is your most anticipated release for the second part of the year. Obviously I don't have it because it's not been released yet, but I'm so excited for the release of Wayward Sons, which is the sequel to Carry On. And I love this book. I have reread this book 3 times, which I think, apart from Harry Potter, this is my most reread book. And I just adore it so much, so I'm definitely rereading this beforehand. I've even pre-ordered it, which I hardly ever pre-order because I don't know if I'm going to have the money in the month. But it comes out in October. I don't exactly know what day, but I've pre-ordered it on Amazon. I'm so excited. but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a huge hardback, and I've got this baby tiny hardback. But that's fine. I'm just so hyped to read this book. Well, not this one. The second one of this book. But this basically, if you've read Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, this is the fan fiction that she was writing in Fangirl, and I love it. But it's not written like fan fiction, which is kind of confusing because it takes them forever to kiss. Oh my god, does it take forever. But I don't really mind because it's not cringy then, so it's not too bad. But this follows Simon Snow and Bass, his roommate, and obviously they're in love. And it's beautiful. I love it so much. But the second one, I'm not entirely sure because I can't really remember how this finishes. I think this wraps up quite well. So I'm quite intrigued on how they're going to do a sequel. The next question is quite a sad question. So your biggest disappointment for this part of the year? I'm going to have to say it's A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. Don't get me wrong, I did like this book. Just, all these girls have similar names. Is it Lila? Lila? I really hope it's Lila. But basically, Lila really pissed me off in this book. Like, she just frustrated me so much. Like, I just couldn't understand why she was doing things. If you've read this book, you know what I mean. But it just really bugged me. Like, there was no, like, they could have figured out something in a different way. Like, everyone around her was just like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, it just really annoyed me. It was so morally wrong what she did. It just upset me so much that I actually couldn't get through this book. I think I gave it 2 stars, which I gave the first one 5. And I haven't read the third one yet, but I'm hoping the third one's better because we've now found out the information we need to find out. And we're going to focus more on Holland, which, oh my god, I just can't deal with. It ruined like half the book for me. The first half, I was loving it. The second half, no. Could not stand it. Pissed me off so much. So much. But I did like the pirate captain in this book, whose name I cannot remember, of course. Can't remember his name at all, but I loved him. But I also thought that he was feeding into the problems as well, so I don't really know how to feel about anything anymore. So the next question is the biggest surprise of the year so far. So I read Northern Lights by Philip Pullman. I can't find the book right now. I know it's in my shelf somewhere, but because I haven't read the other 2, they're on my TBR shelf, so it's just floating around on its own until I put it with the rest of the series, which is really annoying. But so I can't find it right now, but I did read Northern Lights. And it's a surprise because I didn't think I was going to like it. Like, the premise sounds interesting, but everyone read this when they were a kid. It's kind of like Harry Potter. So I thought it was going to be a bit on my terms, but I actually quite liked it. I thought it was really interesting. I liked how it ended. I thought that was a really good like gateway into the next one because I never saw The Golden Compass. I think I saw like the end of it a little bit, but I don't remember any of it, which, if you don't know, Golden Compass is based on the Northern Lights trilogy book thing. I don't know what it's called, but it is a trilogy. And yeah, I just haven't read the next ones yet, which I did listen to it on audiobook, which I thought was really good. I really enjoyed the audiobook. I might try and get the other 2 in audiobook, see if that is my way of reading these, but they're not top of my priority list right now, so I'm not too bothered. And if I forget, I'll just watch The Golden Compass, so it's not too bad. Fucking hell, that scared the shit out of me. Oh my god. Oh my god. I just need to call my sister and make sure that was her, because otherwise there's a stranger in the house. Because it's only 9 o'clock in the morning, so. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go investigate.
Welcome to the EE voicemail.
I'll be back. As you guys would have seen, there was no stranger in the house. My sister was sound asleep. And is still asleep. I don't know how she slept through that. It made my camera shake. And I couldn't find the door that closed. So, but my camera was dying. So I just reckon the ghost was telling me to wrap it up and refilm. So I've just edited that part of the video. I'm just going to continue on now. Anyway, so the second question is favourite new to you or debut author? So my favourite new to me author this year was Madeline Miller, who wrote Cersei, she's also written Achilles, which I do have, but I didn't read that before I read this one, or I didn't have that before I read this one. So I think most people know what this is about, but this is like Greek mythology retellings about this witch called Cersei, who I believe was in a Shakespeare play. I don't really know, but I loved this book. It was so good. I love Greek mythology, as you can see. I quite like the Percy Jackson books, and I have reread the original 5 twice now, and I love them so much. So obviously this book already had a special place in my heart. And then when you take into account how beautiful that book is, it is stunning. But this is basically about a witch called Cersei, who is also a titan, and how it relates to Greek mythology, because obviously the Titans were before the Olympians, which we learn in Percy Jackson. That's how I know history. But yeah, it was really good. Gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I do recommend it, but a lot of people recommend you read Achilles first because it's not as good as Cersei, but oh well. I'm sure I'll get to it at some point, and I'll probably like it anyway. So the next question is your favourite fictional crush from this year. And I don't really get fictional crushes that much. I used to when I was younger, like, oh, Jacob from Twilight. But I don't really get them anymore, but like, I'm just going to do this as like someone I would like to be with, like someone like that. So I chose Inan from Children of Blood and Bone because I did read this this year. Obviously it's by Tomi Adeyemi, I forgot to say that. I really liked his character. I thought his development was really nice. Obviously he was a bit of a bigot in the beginning, but then as he went on, he was really cute, he was really nice. I thought he'd be like good husband material, whatever. I kind of fancied him. He also was very attractive. But I also low-key fancied her brother, but you know, yeah, I don't really get fictional crushes. Like I don't think about him every single day like I used to with say like Peter from Hunger Games or Jacob from Twilight, stuff like that. But yeah, that is a really hard question. I remember sitting there thinking, I just couldn't for the life of me think of who I had a crush on. So I went for Inan. The next question is your new favourite character from this year. So, for this one, I went with Charlie from Heartstopper, who is this one here. He is so cute, and he's just so precious and adorable, and oh, my heart. I remember I read this in like an hour, and I've pre-ordered the next one, which I'm going to read for my Book Junkie trials, and I'm so excited. Oh, I'm like literally clutching it. Like, oh, I love him so much. The art in this is beautiful. Hopefully there's no spoilers there. But my heart. I just love gay fiction. Can we just have more, please? And especially graphic novels. Oh my god, I love it so much. I think he can't really do any wrong. So, well, we'll see. There's a second one, so we'll see if he can do any wrong. The next question is a book that made you cry. And I finished, for the first time ever, the Harry Potter series because I had a real hard time reading it when I was younger. I read 1 to 4, well, halfway through 4, when I was like 9 or 10. And then I tried again when I was like 11 or 12, and I got to 4 again, and I couldn't get past 4. But this year, well, not this year, last year I finished 4, and then I got stuck on 5. It was just so big, and like, I read it while I was on holiday, so then when I came home from holiday, I wasn't really interested in it anymore. Which is annoying, but I found the audiobooks at my library, so I listened to the rest of them on audiobook. And a fun story, you don't really care, but a fun story is that when I was listening to the audio of the Phoenix, which is obviously, spoiler alert, when Sirius dies, I was walking home from uni. So I was just crying in the high street, walking with my headphones in, crying at Sirius dying. It was a real hard time. But that's not the one I'm talking about. The one I'm talking about today is the Deathly Hallows, because obviously I finished this and oh, it broke my heart into little tiny pieces. I think everyone knows, but when Fred died, oh my god, it literally crushed me. Oh, just thinking about it. I cried so much. I cried when Fred died, I cried when Tonks died, I cried when Lupin died, I cried when Harry Potter came back to life. I cried at the ending. Oh, even though I knew exactly what would happen, because I'd watched the films, but nope, I still cried. I cry really easily, so it's not that difficult for a book to make me cry. So I've probably had quite a few, but that was the one I could like think of. That was my most prominent one when I heard that question. That was the one that came into my head, so I chose that one. A happier question now. A book that made you happy. So the book I chose for this question is The Raven Boys by Maddie Stiefvater, and I read the whole series this year. I listened to them all on audiobook. It made me so happy just reading this. Like, oh, and the thing was, another bit of a funny story. I was listening to this on audiobook and I didn't have the physical because I just wanted to read it. I was listening to it on audiobook and I walked into a charity shop while I was listening to it and they had this one in the charity shop and I was literally shook. So I picked it up. It was £1.50. So I picked it up. I was so happy, but they didn't have any of the other ones, so I bought the other ones, which are here, on Amazon, and I still listen to the rest of them on audiobook because I really liked the narrator. I thought he was really good. He just has such a lovely voice, and I am looking to reread them physically soon, so maybe there'll be a read along that I could do that for or something, but we'll see. So the second to last question is your favourite book to movie / TV adaptation. And I've not really read that many book to movie adaptations like that I really like. I think the last one I properly read for the film was Hunger Games, and that was in, God, when did that come out? 2012? So yeah, it's been a long time. I didn't watch the movie this year, but I did finish the book this year, and that is The Half-Blood Prince. I can't say it's my favourite one of the Harry Potter movies because I actually don't remember the movies that well because I haven't seen them in ages. I'm basically just saying the whole Harry Potter series. That's a really difficult question. If you've got any suggestions for any TV shows or books based on TV shows, that would be really nice because I really struggle with adaptations. I think my hopes are a bit too high, and then just the whole like changing stuff, and it really bugs me. So the last question is 6 books you want to read by the end of the year. I'm just gonna name them. I don't know what all of them are about, so I'm not gonna bother saying. I'm just gonna name them and tell the authors. Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerstern. Oh my god. Fire and Heist by Sarah Beth Durst. These Rebel Waves by Sam. The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. And finally, The Chosen / Contender by Taran Matharu. Oh my god, I'm butchering that. That's my mid-year book freakout. If you've heard of any of these books and have any recommendations or like any thoughts, please do leave your comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one.